Now, we're live. Yes, live from Jay's place, and we're talking
Barbershop Talk.
Yes, barbershop talk, where nothing is off limits and everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table. Barbershop Talk.
Come on, everybody. We're here at Jay's place.
Barbershop
We're talking
Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk.
where nothing's off limits.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk.
Everything's on the table.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk. Barbershop Talk.
Everything's on the table.
Barbershop Talk live here at Jay's Place Barbershop, 1927 Olive Road. I am excited. Believe me, I'm excited. I'm overjoyed because the day is Wednesday. What do we do on Wednesday? We have a conversation. We have a conversation here in Jay's Place Barbershop, which is known as Barbershop Talk Live. And remember, we are always live. Keep tuning in to Barbershop Talk Live. I'm going to entertain you. I'm going to give you some information that you need to know. I'm going to give you some conversation that you need to hear. So Barbershop Talk Live is always live. Special guests, special information, great information. So Barbershop Talk Live is for you. Listen, before I go any further, before I get any further in our conversation, I got to give a special shout out to our supporters, to our vendors, to one of you all, and I'm talking about you. Yes, you. I'm talking about you, that you are praying for this program. You are praying for this podcast to be a success. So thank you for your prayers. I'm talking about you. Yes, you. Thank you for your prayers to keep Barbershop Talk Live going as long as it's been going. I'm giving a special shout out to my good friend, Demetrius Johnson. Hey, Demetrius. Beverly's Body Butter. I'm talking about this girl has a product that you need to put in your product. I'm talking about put it in your house. Beverly's Body Butter, whipped, scented shea butter. She has mint. She has coconut. She got Island Paradise. She even got Tropical Island Paradise Punch. Listen, Demetrius Johnson, you want to give her a call at 706-564-5335. Again, that's 706-564-5335. You need to get in contact with her on TikTok. She has TikTok. If you got TikTok, hit her up on Melon Queen 1976. Again, that is Beverly's Body Butter. Demetrius Johnson is whipped, scented shea butter. Also, CSRA, if you need some work done on your yard, on your pond, need to get those overgrown trees cut down, or you just want to get your grass cut, call my good friend Alan Odom at 706-294-8493. And again, that's 706-294-8493. Pond maintenance right here in Augusta. Also, he does demolition work. Give him a call. Again, tell him John Milton from Jay's Place Barbershop Talk Live sent you. You will get a good discount. I promise you that. Listen. You're looking for a car? You're looking for a nice ride? You're looking for something to get you back and forth from A to B to that good job you're trying to get? Give my good friend Johnny Raw or Annette Dots a call. Call him. Call him. Where should you call to? You need to be calling to Miracle Infinity of Augusta. Yes, I said Miracle Infinity of Augusta. Or stop by 3300 Washington Road right here in Augusta, Georgia. Again, 3300 Washington Road right here in Augusta. Or you can give him a call, 706-922-6500. Again, that's 706-922-6500. That's Miracle Infinity of Augusta, Johnny Raw, or Annette Dops. Giving them a call and tell them Barbershop Talk Live, John Milton said, come see me. Also, I want to get you to circle the calendar, mark it off, X out, put a stamp on it. Saturday, September the 23rd, right here in the Garden City of Augusta, Georgia. What's going on? Speak Up Sis. Speak Up Sis. My good friend Angel Wright is putting together a gala. She is going to honor all these magnificent, wonderful women right here in the CSRA for the lot of work they do in front of the camera, behind the camera, on the scene, behind the scene. These women are doing marvelous things right here in the CSOA. So she's going to honor these women. Also, come to this event right here at the Croc Center. Yours truly will be on the red carpet looking at you. I'm looking at you, and I want to see you. So, again, go to the website. We still have a few tickets left. Website is speakupsis.awards tickets. Again, that's Speak Up Sis Awards tickets. You want to get a chance to get your ticket to put your face in the place. Again, Saturday, September the 23rd. The doors open at 3:45. 4 o'clock, red carpet. Show starts at 5 o'clock. Again, Saturday, September the 23rd at the Croc Center. You want to give her a call at 706-394-2030. Again, that's 706-394-2030. Speak Up Assist Awards Gala right here at the Croc Center. You do not want to miss this event. We are honoring some marvelous women right here in the CSRA. So do that for yourself. Also, as they say in church, govern yourselves accordingly. You have been informed of all the different things going on right here in the CSRA. But before I go into my special conversation with our special guest, I want to say thank you. Thank you, and I want to say thank you. What am I thanking you for? I'm thanking you for a marvelous weekend that we had this past weekend right here at 2340 Millersville Road. Barber and Beauty Fun Day. It was a fun day. It was a marvelous day. God kept the rain from coming, and the atmosphere was nice. We honored some living legends right here in the CSRA. We honored Tish Norman, a beautician. We honored Tara Parks, another beautician. We honored Linda Dixon, another beautician. We also honored our very own Selena Soul from Magic 100.9. These ladies have been chosen to be our living legends here in the barber and beauty industry. So I want to say thank you, CSRA, for coming out supporting the vendors, the band, the DJ. I'm talking about everything. We had a car show. All of the proceeds from that event went to HIV awareness, HIV testing, and I want to continue to say thank you. We look forward to seeing you again next year. Also, go and support Angelic Community Resource Development. That is the organization that put these events together. Angelic Community Resource Development is a 501c organization primarily focused on HIV testing, HIV awareness. But without further ado, we got to have a conversation. We got to have a conversation, and I'm ready for this conversation. I hope you are ready for the conversation. Right now, I want to give a special, get on your feet. We got to give a special welcome to my good friend. He came from far and near. I'm thinking right down the road, if I'm not mistaken. But I want to give a special shout out to you know him. I know him. To the world that don't know him, here he is, Jared Williams. What's up, Doc?
What's up, man?
You good?
I appreciate you having me.
Man, listen here. It's good to see you.
It's good to be here.
It's good to see you. If you don't know, I've been waiting on this day to come. I've been waiting on this day to come, and I think a lot of our guests been waiting on this day to come. So I'm glad you graced us with your presence.
Hey, man, I'm
You happy
happy to be here.
to be here? Man, now,
Blessed to be able to do it.
Now, Jared, I don't know if you have a chance to watch Barbershop Talk Live in your crazy busy schedule, and I know your schedule is crazy. You everywhere. But if you had a chance just to get a few minutes of Barbershop Talk Live, we just like to have fun.
All right.
We just like to have fun, good old conversation, engage with our guests. And as we engage with the guests, we also invite the guests to give us a call at 706-426-1533. Again, that's 706-426-1533, where you can call in, ask any and all questions to our special guests, or you can also ask any question to myself. No question is off limits. We'll have a good conversation with you, and we hope you enjoy this conversation. Again, it's just a conversation.
Yeah.
Just a conversation.
Let's get it.
So, Jared, as I stated before, Barbershop Talk Live is just a place we can just get to know each other and voice your opinion, and the viewers get to know you in a different light.
Sure.
Because sometimes when you move and the way we move throughout our busy day, we can't get a chance to talk to you like we want to.
Right.
And that's the schedule that you have. That's the life that you live. So in this setting, we want to have a good old conversation. So that being said, I know you. I know you because I've been dealing with you. I've been seeing you. I'm like, okay, we did a program together.
Yeah.
Yeah, over at the library. So, I mean, I know you. But for the ones that don't know you, I just want you to take a few minutes and look at that camera and say, who is Jared Williams?
Sure. I'm Jared Williams. I'm from here, born and raised. I'm a son of a pastor and a medical professional. But I'm the grandson of J.C. Williams, who owned a shop right down the road, J.C.'s Auto. And my other granddaddy from the Thompson side was a janitor. I mean, so I'm one of us. You know, I've been here. I've been doing this work, and I started out in the DA's office, got a little frustrated by how few options we had to help people. It felt like we had a system that was holding people back instead of propelling them forward. And so I left the law, went and taught for a while, taught kids, Came back and went into defense practice, worked as a defense attorney for several years. And then eventually I got the call, knowing that I can keep kind of feeding into a system that's hurting people and not helping our community and not making us any safer. Or I could do something different. And so I was called to run for office, and God blessed it and put me in the seat, and I've been doing that since 2020.
Well, Jerry, I'm see right now. I don't know if you can see, but right there on the end of that screen right there, we have a little gadget called the phone lines. And I see right now the phone line is jumping off the hook. So do we have a caller calling in already? We got a caller? Okay, so caller, we trying to get you, caller. We trying to get you, but I want, again, all the questions that you have, please answer in all the questions. We'll make sure we get all the questions answered to you, because, again, for the guests that I consider to be in the hot seat, you are important. The people that's watching are important. I want to make sure we have a good dialogue to make sure all the questions are, because we get to know you.
Great.
We get to know you in a different light, because when you get on a shirt and tie, briefcase and all, we don't get a chance to know you. Now we can see you at Barbershop Talk Live. So we got to, caller, are you there, caller?
So my question is that I have been calling District Attorney Jared Williams, sending emails and mails regarding my uncle's wrongful conviction case, Donald Coleman Jr. and Carl Coleman, and I have not gotten a response for him. And so I would like to know why no action has been taken on this.
Sure. So we're limited in what we can say about active cases, but I can tell you this. If you're trying to reach out regarding someone who is in confinement, you really should go through a lawyer, number one, because we're limited in what we can say to someone who's represented. The other piece of it is, if you're going to be making claims of a wrongful conviction, you need to actually supply facts that support that conclusion, as opposed to just saying, hey, it's a wrongful conviction, start all over.
Okay, caller, did you understand the answer?
Okay. Well, we can provide you with lots of facts.
Sure. And if you file something in a court of law, it will have the force of law, and that will help.
Okay. Thank you, caller, for calling in. I appreciate you for calling in. Keep tuning in, okay?
All right,
Thank you for your question.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Jared, great question.
Yeah.
Great question. And again, caller, if you have a question for our special guest, Jared Williams, or you have a question for myself, please, ma'am, please, sir, put the question on the screen or give us a call at 706-426-1533. Again, that's 706-426-1533. And we answer all questions.
Yeah.
We answer all questions. Now, Jared, I heard some in your introduction when you say you are homegrown. Homegrown. You ain't transferred. you didn't got drafted. You homegrown here.
I'm Augusta, born and raised.
Born and raised. So I think I heard your granddaddy is a mechanic.
He was a
passed
mechanic when I was 15. Yeah.
Okay, and your uncle is a janitor.
My other granddad on my other side was a janitor at Thompson High.
So you know a little bit about hard work.
Man, let me tell you. So where the courthouse sits now, I used to cut all that grass every summer. That was my job.
Main courthouse.
The main courthouse on it was Fenwick Street. Now it's we call the courthouse on James Brown Boulevard. But it's funny. I started this morning out at DFAX. Used to cut all the grass around DFAX. Across the street where Trinity Church used to be, and they moved it. They actually picked the building up and moved it. I cut all that grass on 7th Street, King Street. That was my territory, so to speak. So we had a shop on Fenwick Street where we had set up, and that's my job, man.
Okay. All right. So now, what school did you attend?
So I graduated from Westminster, and then I went to Georgia College and State University, which is in Milledgeville, and then from there I went to law school at Stetson, which is down in St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay. I had this bright idea that if you're going to put yourself through law school, you should do it on the beach. But now that I'm paying it all back, I realized that was a little misguided. But at the time, it was future Jared's problems.
I got you. So no sports, no basketball, football was in your.
Let me tell you, man. When I was in high school, I was 300 pounds. I was not an active kid at all. Was not really involved in sports. I called myself trying to play a little baseball, but I wasn't any good. I was mad with these fingers now. I mean, you had me with a game control. I was good.
So that's why when I do see you at the YMCA early in the mornings, you're trying to stay healthy, trying to stay in shape, because I see sometimes you working on the wrong machine. When you're working on the legs, you're doing this with your legs, trying to work on your shoulders.
Yeah, I'm still learning, man. I'm
Still
trying to get
learning
like you.
Still trying to learn the machine, but I see that you are taking care of your health, trying to do right with that.
Yeah, man.
That's good.
It's healthy body, healthy mind.
Okay, so Westminster, Georgia College.
Yep.
Okay, so now when did you decide to get into this law world?
Man, you know, my mom always said, so my dad's a pastor, and my mom always said I was either going to be a pastor or a lawyer, and I guess I just lived my life in a way where I had to be a lawyer. You know, really, I got into prosecution on accident, man. You know, I was planning to do an internship, and I went to law school thinking I was going to be like a corporate lawyer, do something like that, make a bunch of money, and then I took this internship, you know, working for free, and I used to get to the courthouse. I'd get there at 8:30. I'd work until 5, and then I'd rush to my grandma's house, take off the suit, put on an apron, and go wait tables until about midnight. I did that for 2 summers in a row, and I just caught the trial bug, man. Like, I just realized if I was going to do this, I wanted to have an impact, and so I was trying to decide how to do that and where to do it, and I chose prosecution, and I chose to come back to Augusta. So that was 10 years ago, man, when I moved back and started at the DA's office.
So your dad is a preacher.
Yep.
You still preaching now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what is like growing up in the house with your dad a preacher? You can't do no wrong.
Let me tell you, man, my dad's the preacher, but my mom's the strict one. I mean, she's the one keeps him in line.
Now, as you know, Jared, as you know, and you know about these PKs, the PKs are the worst ones now. They keep up some mess. They slick. They conniving. They all whatever you want to call it. The PKs done it, will do it, and can do it. So you telling me you a PK?
So what I'll say is this: I'm gonna dispute that we're the worst ones.
Okay.
I would say the women that love us are the worst ones because they choose it. I had to be a PK. You know?
Okay.
Shout out to my fiance; she chose me.
I remember the PKs growing up in my hometown. Do you know where I'm from?
Where are you from? Man?
I'm from a big little hometown called Waycross, Georgia.
Okay.
And the PKs in Waycross, Georgia that I know about, they kept some stuff up now. So I don't think
they come across the district attorney's desk.
Yeah, they've been across the So the PKs in Waycross might be the same as the PKs in Augusta. I'm just wondering.
Hey, man, you know, no comment. I plead the fifth.
No comment. Well, yeah, plead the fifth. There you go. That's how you ease out of there. Just no comment. See you, sir. If you got a question for our special guest, DA Jared Williams, also covers the Richmond County and Burke County areas. Give him a call. Give us a call at 706-426-1533. Again, that's 706-426-1533. He said call him Jared. I'll call him Jared for the sake of argument. Also, if you got a question for myself, put your question on the screen, and we'll answer any and all questions. Jared Williams, DA. Jared Williams. Got to give him his props. Some people say give you flowers while you're still here, so I'm going to give you flowers.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
So this law world, again, I've always had a funny fascination with the law world. So when you say the law world, I'm talking about, is the law fair? Is the law fair, Jared? Because when you say getting into law, matter of fact, let me back up, because at one time you said you was a prosecutor.
I mean, I still am. That's
Okay. So what is like when you prosecute or you try somebody and you know they're wrong or you know they're right?
So, fortunately, I have a personal code, and I don't prosecute people that I don't think are guilty, and I catch a lot of hell for it. I get a whole lot of articles and people saying, oh, he's soft and all this stuff. Whatever, man. I have a code that I have to look myself in the mirror, and I'm not going to prosecute somebody that I don't believe we can prove did it. You know, because it's not just did you do it. It's do we have enough evidence to prove it in a court of law. I'm not going to put anybody in that type of jeopardy if I don't really believe in the case. So that's number one. But I did have the occasion when I was a defense attorney to represent someone who was innocent. And that's a big reason why I ended up running for district attorney, because I brought the evidence to the prosecutor that, hey, this person didn't do this. And instead of he was charged with 2 offenses that both carried life sentences, all right? And so he's a young kid, no history, nothing, 150 pounds soaking wet, right? And they've got this kid in the jail. And when I bring them all the evidence to show, I think you've got the wrong person here, they said, okay, he can do 10 years in prison instead of life. I'm like, that's not justice. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. So I had to try that case. And I have never been more stressed out in my life because, you know, I represented hundreds of people. I mean, probably only a handful of innocent people, right? Like, to have someone like that and to have his mom and grandma put their trust in me to make sure that we get him justice in a court of law, man, I still get goosebumps about that because I used to sleep in the bed with my case file and wake up in the middle of the night in sweats, like just reading the case file over, trying to find that thing that's going to help me represent this kid, you know? But on this end, that's the reason why I wanted to be district attorney is because I don't want anyone else to have to make that choice. Do I have to go to trial, or should I just take this 10 years because I'm afraid of what happens if I don't, right? We shouldn't have to make that choice. We should be trying to do the right thing. And I also want opportunities for kids to stay out of the system altogether, you know? I got frustrated when I was an ADA, when I was an assistant district attorney, because it felt like I only had two options. I can put you in prison and ruin your life, or I can put you on probation and just wait till you mess up and go to prison, you know?
Now, Jared, again, on Barbershop Talk Live, we like to just kind of bounce around.
Sure.
And when I say bounce around, I might ask a question here, I might ask a question there, so I kind of almost get off topic sometime, and that's just where the show goes. Good time, good bad time. So for the ones that don't know, what is the job of a district attorney? What is your main focus? What are you there for?
Sure. So I'm the chief law enforcement officer for Richmond and Burke counties. And what that means is an arrest happens or the sheriff's office starts investigating something. And when they think they found their guy, they send me the case file and we review it. And we're looking for two things mainly. One, did law enforcement follow the law themselves? Because if they didn't, game over, right? We have constitutional rights that are supposed to protect us. So if they search you and they're not supposed to, it's done. Right? That's not the way it always gets done, or at least the way it didn't used to get done, and that's another reason why people are mad. But there's that. And then number two is we're looking at, is there a reasonable basis to believe that the person accused of the crime actually did it? You've heard that term before. It's probable cause, right? So we're looking for probable cause. And if we have that, our next inquiry is, all right, now do we have enough evidence to actually prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person did it? Because, you know, probable cause just means more likely than not. You know, whereas beyond a reasonable doubt is the highest standard in the legal system. So, for instance, the standard that the courts use to decide whether they can take a child away from their mother is lower than the standard we use for criminal cases, right? And so that's a high burden. And so I have to look at cases and review them and say, do we have enough to go forward? Because we don't fault for cases that we have plenty of cases that need to get resolved and need to get tried. Where we do have the evidence. We can't be out here trying to do stuff when we don't have the evidence.
So your main cases to try are the felony cases or misdemeanors? What are you?
I got off track. So yes, within Richmond and Burke counties, we handle all state level felonies for adults. We also handle misdemeanors and felonies for juveniles.
So what constitutes if a child is arrested and being tried as an adult?
Sure. So let me tell you this. In the 50 United States, there are only 3 states that treat 17-year-olds as adults in criminal court. Georgia is one of those 3. We're going to the legislature to try and change that. But I digress. The way we make that decision is there are certain offenses, you know, like murder or 7 deadly sins, we call them. You know, those are automatic. They go to Superior Court. Then we have what's called SB 440, where someone is, let's say it's an aggravated assault. We can choose to try that person as an adult if we find that there's not adequate resources to address what happened in juvenile court. Because juvenile court, the timelines are different. They have more services available. But let's say the person's already been through juvenile court a bunch of times and they're just escalating. That's when you might see them be treated as an adult. So it's either the crime itself is so heinous it gets treated as an adult, or it's a judgment call.
So really the age doesn't matter.
The age matters somewhat, because if you're under 13, then you're not going to get charged as an adult. But it's more about what happened and what's in their history and what resources do we actually have to help this child. If we don't think that our resources have been utilized the right way or haven't been taken advantage of, then we might make a different decision.
Okay. Again, sir, you have a question for our special guest, DA Jared Williams. Please, ma'am, please, sir, put the question on the screen or give us a call. We answer any and all questions. No questions off limit. You have a question for myself, put the question on the screen or give me a call. I answer any and all questions. Again, 706-426-1533. Mr. Williams, I want to know, lately we have a lot of things nationally, locally, on the state level with the law enforcement. So I'm trying to figure out, again, some of these questions I know, but as a matter of fact, this is the question I have right here, and I wanted to make sure I read this question correctly. You can help me read it also. You want to help me read the question? The question that I got to ask you is, what happens to those officers that are committing crimes? Why does it seem like they never get convicted on these crimes? Because again, for the things that the officers are doing, we see and the evidence shows they have committed a crime, and sometimes it be some heinous crimes. And for some time, I mean, we talking about it's many cases, but it seems like they get off scot-free sometimes, and it seems like the evidence shows that they are guilty. So Richmond County, Burke County, around the country. So for the ones that's watching and the people that gave me these questions to ask you, why is this seems that way?
Yeah, so I mean, I think you're talking about the national trend that you see, where these big cases, high-profile cases, either they don't get charged at all, or they get acquitted at trial, right? And so let's talk about those two different things. Unfortunately, I have indicted more officers in the past 3 years than I'm not sure we've indicted this many in the previous 30. I haven't gone back and looked at it, but it's a staggering number of cases that we've had to bring to a grand jury for sworn officers violating their oath. All right, and so we've dealt with that, and it's not a happy thing, right? Because you want to feel protected, and you want to know that law enforcement is going to follow the law. That being said, so the charges are coming, at least in our circuit, they are. Now, whether the grand jury chooses to indict or not is one thing. And let me take a step back. The sheriff has actually been very intentional about making sure that he's charging his officers too. You know, it's not just me jumping in and charging people. You know, they're coming to us as warrants, having already been arrested. But then the other side of it is, you know, grand juries have to decide that they're not going to put up with it. And then the actual trial juries have to decide that they're going to hold officers accountable the same way that everyone else does. And I think our community does a good job of that.
Okay. Now again, these lights are flashing on this machine so much, and I got some of the callers calling in. So, caller, are you there? We got a question from the call line. Are you there, caller? Yes, ma'am. Are you there? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I am here.
Okay, what's your question?
I got a few questions. More specifically about Danny Craig.
Okay, what's your question?
Why isn't he under investigation for what happened to Ronald Coleman Jr. and pertaining to his case and like how his case was handled? And it has been forthcoming that people are saying that they've been paid off and pertaining to that case. So I want to know what's the procedures to getting him under investigation, and how far along are you guys in the investigation?
So again, that's a pending case. That's a pending matter, and so I'm not allowed to talk about it. But I'm assuming that you're also related to the previous caller, and so I would give you the same advice: contact a lawyer. Have your lawyer submit the information or file something in a court, and that will start the process.
Okay, so I think that's the only question I really have because it's pertaining to my dad's case. Like, that's my father, and he's been locked up for 23 years for something that I know specifically that he didn't clearly do. So if you guys can really take a look at it and really press the issue, you guys would see what's going on. Like, wrongful conviction is a thing.
That's true. You have to, again, submit information that supports your conclusion, and the best way to do that is through an attorney.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you, caller, for calling in. I appreciate you, and I hope you got your answer that you're looking for. Again, talk to your attorney to get more information on that matter and also other matters. Jared, I got a question also. We got another call coming in. The line is hot. We got another call coming in. Come on, caller. What's your question?
Hello.
Yes, we're here. What's your question?
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. My question is in regards to the case against Ronald Coleman and Carl Coleman and the fact that they've been incarcerated for over 20 years and wrongly convicted. And there are three pieces of evidence that proves that. One being that your star witness that was a convicted killer, prior to the case being found guilty, he admitted to his lawyer that he was coerced to say his testimony. Number two, there was a gentleman that just recently came forward and said that his sister admitted to her and her friends lying and to get the money, the award money, for them to be there. I mean, for the conviction. And then number three, it was found that David Holt's wife is related to the prosecutor who also rose up in the ranks politically because of this case. And so with all three of those things, we're confused as the public. The public is confused, and I don't live in Georgia. I live outside of Georgia, but I am familiar with the case, and we're wondering why it is that this case isn't being looked at again. Also, the person was not represented very well by his lawyers, and that was admitted. And also every person that the family members attempted to hire as private detectives, they all were coerced and disappeared from the Georgia area, never to have been found. With all of these suspicious things and the fact that some of the people during this case rose within the ranks politically in Augusta and continued to rise, one would think that these young boys were railroaded in this case. And so the public would like to know, when are we going to do something about this corruption that took place in the case of these young black men?
So, ma'am, thank you. You have to understand that we are talking about issues that involve a murder where a victim's family
the case was not
is still
murder.
involved.
That was South Carolina.
Ma'am. So what I would ask for you is, if you really firmly believe in this, then don't try this case in the court of public opinion. Get a lawyer.
We're
There
not.
are
We've
resources
attempted
that
to
allow
go.
you to
We've
get
attempted
lawyers
to go the law.
and put it
We've
in a court of
attempted to
law.
go the law route.
I would
We've
really
attempted
hate
to
for
go the
someone to
legal
have a
route.
meaningful case that's being discussed on a radio show and not in a court of law. And so I would hope that you find somebody that does that.
We've attempted to go that route. However, it is Georgia. And we all know how it is in Georgia as it relates to black people, as it relates to the incarceral system. We all know how it is. And politically, we know how it is.
Thank you, caller.
For black men and the prison system.
Thank you, caller. I appreciate your comments, and thank you for tuning in. But we'll, as he stated before, definitely get your lawyer to get more information so we can make sure this case get resolved in a timely manner. And again, thank you for tuning in and bringing your question to the floor. As you said before, just get in contact with your lawyer. But again, Mr. Williams, I want to give you.
The lawyers are corrupt. Everyone is in cahoots with one another, and we all know that. Goodbye. You all enjoy your night.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, again for tuning in. I appreciate you. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, as Jared, as I was trying to, she's gone. Okay, again, callers, thank you for calling in. That means that you are tuning in, and we appreciate your concerns and your cares. But Jared, I want to touch on something that you was saying. You said something about the grand jury.
Sure.
Now, what is a grand jury? What is their role in many of these cases that come before us?
So it just reminded me also that I didn't answer a question that you had about, is the law fair? I want to get back to that.
Okay.
But one of the ways in which the law is the most fair is that the grand jury is a group of citizens. I mean, they are randomly selected. I have no say over who gets on it unless you have certain things that disqualify you from serving. You're on once your name gets called. And so those people hear the cases, and they determine whether to bring an indictment. So, for instance, if someone shoplifts, I can accuse them with my signature. I can just file a charging document, we call it an accusation, and we can go to court on that. But let's say we're talking about a serious violent felony like a murder. Well, I have to have a grand jury review that case and determine whether there's probable cause. And it behooves prosecutors to actually not submit cases to the grand jury unless they have proof beyond a reasonable doubt or they expect to have it throughout the litigation process. Otherwise, you're indicting someone for a crime that you know can't stand up to the law, right? And so that's why sometimes people are like, well, the sheriff charged so-and-so. Why did Jared dismiss it? Well, it's because if I don't have proof beyond a reasonable doubt, it doesn't matter if I get an indictment or not. This guy isn't going to get convicted because I don't have the proof. And so it's about, I think that when we talk about is the law fair, look, the folks that are dealing with their incarcerated loved one and keep calling in, they care about this. I mean, I don't think they're coming from a bad place, right? Because we have seen times where the law has not been fair. But what you typically find is it's the human element that makes the law unfair. You have people in positions of power, prosecutors, DAs, judges, and they are applying the law in an unfair way. So that's one piece, and that's why, you know, we are doing everything that we can to have an integrity-based model for prosecution. Our core values of our office are integrity, fairness, and justice. I don't think you can have one without the other. And you certainly can't have justice without integrity.
Okay. Now, Jared, I'm telling you, you don't believe me, but I'm enjoying this conversation. I'm also enjoying the callers that's calling in. But what we got to do now, we just got to pay a few bills.
Sure.
Can we pay a few bills?
You can pay me some bills?
We're going to pay some bills. We're going to pay your bill, my bill. We're going to pay. So what we're going to do in paying these bills, we got to make sure that the people that's behind the scene are supported, acknowledged, and know what's going on. So one of the persons that I want to make sure that we are paying their bills because they're paying our bills is my good friend Felicia Lee. You know Felicia Lee?
Yeah.
Felicia Lee has a business right here on Central Avenue. It's called True Therapy. True Therapy is a mentoring program, psychology program, just to get to know your thoughts, your whatever you need to do. So I asked the CSRA Barbershop Talk World, tune into the screen as we give a special shout out to my good friend Felicia Lee. Her program is called True Therapy, right here on Central Avenue, right here in Augusta, Georgia. So pay attention to the screen as you watch your friend Felicia Lee, True Therapy.
Life is full of challenges and struggles, but there's no reason you should have to face them alone. At True Therapy, we provide support and guidance to help you become the best version of yourself. As a mental health counseling center, we provide a full range of clinical behavioral health services to children, adolescents, adults, and families. Our experienced team of licensed counselors and psychiatrists work closely with patients to understand their situation and develop a personalized treatment plan with an emphasis on wellness and prevention. Whether you are struggling with mental illness, substance abuse, relationship and marital difficulties, or the daily stress and challenges of life, we're here to help you find a positive path forward, dedicated to making our services as convenient and accessible as possible. We offer treatment in office, by phone, or via telehealth. Find the help you need. Schedule an appointment at True Therapy today.
Okay, thank you again. My good friend Felicia Lee with True Therapy, right here on Central Avenue. Great program, great business she has. Support her. Again, the business is called True Therapy. Felicia Lee, a mentoring program. Learn about your mental health status. Get to know her. Again, that's Felicia Lee, True Therapy, right here in Augusta, Georgia. Now back to our conversation. Jared, we were touching on something a few minutes ago about the grand jury, and you show how they're being selected and what cases they can try not, bring forth. So that being said, now what is the big word, an indictment? What is an indictment?
Sure. So, like I said, I can file certain paperwork called accusations, and that's just my word saying we have proof beyond a reasonable doubt that this person committed this crime, right? It's really probable cause standard. So, but an indictment is for bigger, more significant felonies. And that's where the grand jurors have been impaneled. They have heard evidence, and they have determined that there is sufficient evidence to go forward. And so those cases are most of your felonies get indicted. And so that's kind of the piece of paper that allows us to go to court and prosecute a case.
Okay. Now when you say prosecute, you've been prosecuting for a while.
Yep.
Many years you've been in the prosecution world. So I got a question. Not my question, Jared. As you can see, it's not my question. This comes from the floor of the Barbershop Talk world. So the question they brought to my attention to ask you while you come here is, it's going to be difficult now.
Okay.
Are you guilty? Are you guilty? Now, Jared, again, this is not my question. Barbershop Talk world question. The question is, are you guilty when a person is tried and convicted, go to jail, serve time, and get out and do another crime? Because, again, it seems like the system wasn't fair. So maybe that crime that person committed might have got 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 2 days, whatever. But when they get back out and commit another heinous crime. So based on the job that you're doing and your work that you do in your office, you let that person out on an early conviction or early time frame. They didn't serve the time that the public thought they should have served. So now it's a 2-year sentence, but they just committed a major crime. So now when that person gets out again, now they commit another crime, maybe a violent murder or whatever. Sure. So now, do you feel guilty for that particular incident that happens again, because it's on the DA's office to prosecute and extend the law of whatever that crime is for a certain amount of time? Am I making sense in the question?
You know, your question makes sense, and it's a good one. You know, the way that cases resolve, there's a number of different reasons why a case would resolve a certain way, right? So, for instance, if I find that someone's been in jail for several years, and I'm looking at the evidence and it says, no, actually this person was acting in self-defense, my duty is to dismiss that case, right? Now, if that person gets out and goes and does a heinous crime and the whole community's in an uproar, I'm going to take that, right? They're going to come at me, and it's not going to matter to me because I have to do the right thing. I have to follow the law, and I'm not going to lose my bar license or my morals or my ability to look myself in the mirror just to make other people happy, right? I'm in the business of public safety, not public opinion, right? Let's say it's a different situation where we try a case, we know the guy is guilty, he gets acquitted by the jury, which is not my fault, but still it's an unfortunate thing, and then he goes out and does something. Well, my question to myself would be, could I foresee that acquittal? And did I try to do everything I could to get justice in that case? And so sometimes you will see in the paper, they'll talk about, the DA offered, 10 years on this case that could have gotten 30. Why did he only offer 10? Well, maybe 10 is the best you can do in a case where the evidence sucks, and the guy did it, and you have enough proof to go forward ethically, but the lawyer in you is smart enough to see what's coming down the tracks, and you say, you know what, let's get the most justice right now, because it's always the people who live in really nice houses and in safe neighborhoods that say, oh, well, he should have gotten more, or he shouldn't have been let out. It's the mom who's doing everything she can to protect her kids, who doesn't want that guy in her community right now. So, because the 10-year sentence we might get her kids out of that neighborhood and into somewhere better where they're safe before he gets out, right? So we're making decisions every day about public safety, and public opinion be damned. I mean, it's really about doing what's right in every case and trying to get as much justice out of a case as you can.
I'm just wondering because, again, sometimes people will say, well, he has blood on his hands.
I know who you're talking about.
He has.
I know what radio personality you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying? Again, these ain't my questions now, Jared. You see it, and when you look at the evidence, and we always talking about public opinions. So the public opinions say, well, that case should have got tried and should have got a conviction. So it's almost like, then, as the caller said, is some under the table deals going on? Is some backdoor deals going on? Is y'all making deals? Are y'all making deals on the golf course? What's really happening around here? Because the evidence shows he did it, she did it. So I'm just trying to see.
I mean, and that's a big piece too, man. We had a case where what was given to us in the case file was a slam dunk, right? We had fingerprint, we had shoe print, we had all this evidence. We had an eyewitness. Now, fast forward, it's time for us to get ready for trial, and we're looking at it and we're like, hold up, that fingerprint, it got processed. It doesn't match. Oh, that shoe print, we're looking at it. That can't be the same shoe. It doesn't match. And the eyewitness is flown the coop, gone out of the state, and don't want to come back. And so we have the opportunity to get the best sentence that we could in that case. And it would provide a modicum of safety for the people who live in that neighborhood to be away from this guy for a certain amount of time. And instead, what happened is a lot of people have neck bones and not backbones and didn't want to go forward with the actual plea. And so we do eventually find the witness. She retracts everything that she said, and we're going into this case just to lose it, you know? And so you have to think about what's better, right? Would you rather have someone actually held accountable for what they did, even if it's a sentence that you don't agree with? Or do you want them to walk free and being able to go through the street saying, hey, I beat a body? You know, I'm not with that. If I can get justice in a case, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So to answer the question, you don't feel guilty because at that point, if a person gets out and commit another crime, you did your job as convicting that person.
Let me tell you what I would feel guilty about is if I put someone in prison who didn't deserve to be there, and then they got hurt, or they spent a day in confinement that they shouldn't have been there, or they go to prison for a crime they didn't commit. They end up having to join a gang to survive, experiencing trauma, or having to inflict trauma on other people to stay alive, and then they come back into our community worse than when they went in. You know, we have to think through everything. This is chess, not checkers.
Is there a program in place now, or maybe something that you're working on for the ones that get out that has been institutionalized, so when they do get out, they can conform, they can adapt, they can, you know, comply to the rules of the world, because as they're incarcerated, those so many ways they got to survive, and now they're, as they say, institutionalized. Is there some type of program when they get out, they can be able to, you know, get back into the functioning set, get back into the world they can survive in? Is that something that you're working on, or something that's already in place that we don't know about?
So there are transitional centers, and there are groups that help with reentry. But let me tell you where my passion is. It's more in, how do I reach the kid before he ever does the thing that requires me to put him in confinement? How do I reach that kid? And especially because we act like we don't know what's going to happen. Statistics and data show us who's most likely to offend. And so if I can reach a young person and say, all right, let's link this person with this program over here. Let's not wait till he gets in trouble in juvenile court and then do it. I know his parents are incarcerated. I know that he's more likely to get in trouble than the kid who's got both his parents. Why don't we help him now before he starts acting out? Be proactive, not reactive. And that's the piece that again, people hear that and they're like, oh, he's going off being soft again. No, because if I prevent you from committing that crime, I prevented a victim from ever being victimized. That's where we need to be, and that's where our resources need to be. I spent Monday at a farm. What is the DA doing at a stinking farm, right? But this lady is providing an opportunity for young people to come and get equine therapy, which is where you work with horses. She's got she's got sheep, she's got llamas. Llamas are dope, by the way. Okay. Ducks. I mean, it's a place that a young person can go see something that they don't otherwise see. And they can experience things, and they can grow, and they can empathize. They learn how to take care of something. Okay. I mean, it's all of those things to me is a bigger bang for our buck, right? And right now, there are some who would rather just have this carceral system where we just throw people in jail, we hold them there. If you can't prove the case, just hold them in jail as long as you can, and maybe you get a conviction, or maybe they plead because they're desperate, whatever. They go to prison, and then they come back, and it's this cycle of incarceration. I'm about stopping the cycle. Let's stop the cycle and help people before they ever have to come into it.
So what about the ones that say, you got to lock them up? When I say you got to lock them up, if you don't lock them up, you ain't got no job. You don't put them in jail, there's nobody to work the system. So somebody got to be locked up. And almost like,
I would love to work myself out of a job. But let me tell you.
But hold on, Jared. Now you know that as public opinion, We just talking about public opinion. Sometime in barbershop, we talking about barbershop talk. So what happens in the barbershop, a lot of the guys say, well, I got stopped going down Broad Street. I got stopped going down Gordon Highway. And I wasn't speeding. But I got a ticket. So sometimes they say, well, they got to write a ticket. They got to get some of the tickets written out. They got to get some of the, so they got to have something to turn in. So it's almost like we just got to do this. We got to lock them up. We got to give out tickets. We got to give out citations. We got to do it to keep the money flowing.
Man,
I'm
let me
just,
tell you.
this ain't my question, Jerry. It's the people want to know.
Look, you talk to the moms in this community who are just frightened for their loved ones, for their young people because of all the violence that's happening. You know, the kids that can't go to school because we're out for 2 days because there's a shooting at the school. You know, all this foolishness is going down. No one has time to go after people who didn't do it. You know, we got plenty of crime in this community that we got to address. And so, I mean, I hear, man, I didn't think I was speeding, but come on. Half the time, we're not even clocking for tickets. So what we're trying to do is find people who are actually out here doing crime that impacts our safety, that keeps us up at night. So my thing is this. I'm all about helping people and finding programs to help and do all that. But I'm also the one who created the Major Crimes Division at the DA's office. I'm also the one who started the Violent Crimes and Gang Unit and the Special Victims Unit. Because if you are taking lives or touching kids, we're going to put you in prison. We're going to put you under the prison. You know? And so my point is this. You can do both. You can care about people and try to propel them forward and keep them out of the system. And you can also go ham on the ones who are hurting people.
Okay. Now I think I heard somewhere that you have a mentoring program, and you big on the mentorship with the young guys.
We're working to do as much as we can in that space. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, Jared, I don't know about you. Again, I have enjoyed this conversation because I wish I could get to the 12 people that's sitting in the audience, and I think I got about 20 more people on the call line. So what I want to do now, you have lost a lot of weight. You have lost a lot of pounds over the years. So what I noticed when you lost all that weight that you talked about, and I know that the load that you have, the workload that you have, when you have a crazy workload from the Burke County to the Richmond County, so it seems to me that you love a challenge. You are a challenging type of guy. You love a challenge. And that being said, it's time for a challenge. Are you ready for another challenge?
Let's get it.
Is he? Sound like you're ready for another challenge because I see you have taken on a lot of challenges over the years. So why not give you another challenge? You ready for another challenge?
Let's get it, man.
Dog it, I got a challenge. Jared, this is my challenge flag. Barbershop Talk Live comes with a challenge flag. No guest goes without the challenge flag. And you have been chosen to get the challenge flag again. Are you ready for the challenge flag?
Let's go.
So listen now, when I drop this flag on the floor, that means you have to meet the challenge, exceed the challenge, and keep on challenging this flag to uphold what it says it's going to do.
Okay.
You ready? Now, when I drop it, I just dropped the flag. Now, DA Jared Williams over the Richmond County and Burke County area, you are going to be challenged to continue to make sure the citizens of the CSRA, Richmond County and Burke County get the fair treatment that they deserve. For those callers that call in, for the people that's watching, for the 12 people that's in the audience, make sure that those people get the fair shake that they need to get, and make sure that as they say, justice is blind. Make sure they get it. Also, you're going to be challenged to make sure when people call your office, to return the call. When people email you, to return the email. When people just send you a letter, return to the letter. So your challenge is to make sure that people are getting a fair shake at the law, with the law, of the law. And if it come to the point where they see you in the street, just give them a little wave, give them a little handshake. So that's your challenge. Can you continue to challenge the folks here in the CSRA that they know that they got the right person in the seat, that they got the right person in that area to uphold the law? Because as your caller said, people have been in jail for many, many years, and they are concerned. So your challenge is let them concerns be met that you and your office will take care of people.
Hey, man.
That's a challenge.
I'm here for that.
That's a challenge.
I want to do justice. I want to take care of people. I really want to get to these kids and keep them from going down the path that I see them going down. And you know it, man. You see me everywhere because I'm everywhere. I'm out in the community. I'm doing this work because I don't know, but I would hazard to guess you never had a DA on the show before.
You're the first one.
Yeah, that's my thing,
You're
man. We're out in the community trying to be part of the community because we are, you know. And so it's not just me. My prosecutors are going into schools. I was at a school yesterday. That's what it's about, man. It's about being out here and showing people that we actually care. It's not for me. It's not about how many convictions we get. It's about how many lives we change. I convict you today and you come back and do it again tomorrow, I didn't do anything. So how do we have sentences and programs that help people change their lives and correct their behavior for the better?
All right.
Appreciate you,
CSRA,
brother.
Jared Williams, you have been challenged. CSRA, you are going to be challenged. So now I'm going to have to give a challenge to the CSRA Barbershop Talk world. You've been challenged, and I believe you can meet the challenge. I believe you can exceed the challenge. And so I thank you for coming on to Barbershop Talk Live to voice your opinions, give your views, and also let the people know who you are and what you're about. And I think you've done that.
Hey, man, thank you for letting me do it.
So now, is there any emails or Facebooks or any type of way they can get in contact with you? Any way they can, you want to give the people some, just in case they want to give some information to you?
Man, so 706-821-1153 is our office number. And you, especially if you think you're about to send me something about a case, send an email, jwilliams@augustag.gov, because I'm limited in what I can say to people because when they're represented, there's rules that keep me from saying stuff. But, what I'm not trying to do is get flooded by people who are not in this community, not actually here, just trying to jump on a cause. Like, I'm dealing with real crimes. I'm dealing with real issues right now. Bodies are dropping every day, and that's what I'm working on. So if you're going to reach out, understand that you're taking away time from people hurting victims that are going through it. And then another thing, I just want to give a shout out to my friend over here.
Okay, right here.
So I've been saying this for years. I would rather you bring someone to me, bring your loved one to me before they come across my desk. And I've had one grandma take me up on that. And this young man's grandma just reached out and said, I just want you to spend some time with my kid. And so we struck up a friendship a few months back, and we're actually headed to another community event right now. But I just want to give a shout out to my boy Christian.
Come on, Christian, let grandma see you, because grandma going to see her baby. Just come on right here. No, come on around. Turn around to the camera.
There's a good kid right here.
Say, hey, grandma. Grandma watching you now.
Come on now. You said you want to get on camera now.
You on camera, Christian.
Hey, grandma.
Okay.
I'm in 10th grade. Laney High School. Football. Defense.
All right. There you go. Listen.
That's all right.
Jared, I appreciate you. Christian, I appreciate it. Again, CSRA Barbershop Talk World, my good friend Jared Williams. Again, as I said it before, you've been challenged. But before we go, we got to challenge the CSRA Barbershop Talk World listeners. And a simple challenge is, if you paid attention to this conversation, I got something for you. If you paid attention to this worldwide conversation that I had with our our DA, I got 2 questions for you. And we're going to give out something to you. You ready? You are ready. Listen, what I got to give away right here is a men's collectible bath set. This set comes with everything. It comes with the bathrobe. It comes with the fingernail clipper, the toenail clipper, shampoo, butter, lotion. It comes with everything. So listen, if you paid attention to this conversation, you have a chance to win this prize coming from Barbershop Talk Live here at Jay's Place Barbershop, 1927 Olive Road. Also, Jared, I'm going to let you hold that.
Okay.
2 questions.
I'm gonna run off with it.
2 simple questions. They got to answer the questions. You might know the answer, but I'm going to give it to our Barbershop Talk Live world. The first question is always the easy question. The first question is, which high school did he attend? Very simple. If you paid attention to the conversation, the question is easy. But remember, the first question is always easy. Which high school did he attend? You got the question right, but don't worry. We got 2 questions for you. The second question is, well, I'm going to make it easy, too. I'm going to make the second question easy, too. I just said it. If you paid attention, what area does he covers? What counties does he cover? What counties does he cover? First question is, what high school did he attend? And what county does he cover in his DA world? One question, what high school? Second question, what county does he cover? You got the question right, put the question on the screen, or you can give us a call with the answer. Barbershop Talk Live world is waiting your answer. Also, here's your prize. Jared.
It might not be here.
It might not be it. I'm just saying, if it ain't here, we're going to get him in, get the law on him, right? But listen, I enjoyed the conversation.
Hey, man, thank you.
You have been challenged. CSA Barbershop Talk World, you've been challenged. 2 questions. Listen, tune in Tuesday. Tune in this coming Tuesday. Our special guest right here in this hot seat. I'm talking about special guest in the hot seat is my good friend, Mike Murphy. I said it correctly. Mike Murphy, owner, Murphy Auto Group. We're right here in this hot seat. So tune in next week. You're looking for a car, looking for a trade-in, looking for a new car, used car. Give us a call. Tune in to Barbershop Talk Live next Tuesday. Special edition Tuesday. And don't forget about next Wednesday. Guess who will be in this hot seat next Wednesday? Also, my good friend, Johnny Roy Jr. He is the general manager at Miracle Affinity of Augusta, right here on 3300 Washington Road. So tune in next week. Great guests coming to the hot seat of Barbershop Talk Live. Again, Mike Murphy this coming Tuesday, and Wednesday, another special edition. Johnny Roy Jr. will be right here in this hot seat. 2 hot seats going to be hot. Tune in to Barbershop Talk Live, 6 o'clock. We are looking forward to seeing you. I got something coming up real soon. It's coming soon. It's going to be a new edition of Barbershop Talk Live. I want to tell you about it. Can I tell them about it? Not yet. They say don't tell you about it yet, but tune in to Barbershop Talk Live. We got some new stuff coming up down the pipeline. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be old school. It's going to be nice. But for now, I'm telling you, I enjoyed myself. Jared.
I enjoyed it too, man.
Give me something, man. Give me something, man. Give me something. Anything you want to tell the people before you go? Any more information? Any contacts? Any way to follow you or anything?
Please follow Jared Williams for District Attorney or at Jared for DA on Instagram, Facebook. I'm too young for it. I mean, I'm too old for a TikTok, right? Can I get a TikTok?
Don't tick it. Don't talk it. Don't tick it. Don't talk it.
All right, we ain't on TikTok just yet, but
don't tick it and talk it.
But look, we're out here doing this work. We love the community. God bless you all.
All right. Now, listen. Now, Jerry, I don't know if you paid attention to Barbershop Talk Live. When you came in real nice and easy. Real nice and easy. You sat in the hot seat. But we ain't going to do that this time. We're going to get out of here in a whole different way. So, Christian, you want to come rock out with us? You want to come? We rock out of here on Barbershop Talk Live. Now, if you want to come rock out with your man, I don't give a god dog, but listen, come right here in front of the camera. We're going to rock out here. So, listen, I don't know what the DJ gonna give us. That's a DJ J Will. So whatever DJ J Will give us, we gonna get out here like that.
All right.
So you ready to rock out here?
Bet.
Chris, you ready to rock out? You got to represent Laney. You got to represent the Wildcats and the defensive football team. You ready? So DJ, whatever he give us, I don't care what it is. So whatever DJ J Will give us, that's how we're gonna get out of here. So listen, on the count of 3, you ready? You ready? Is that your jam? You ready to rock out here? You ready?
Yeah. Must warn you, I sense something strange in my mind. Yo.
And now, we're live. Yes, live from James Place. And we're talking
Barbershop Talk.
Yes, Barbershop Talk, where nothing is off limits, everything's on the table.
Everything's on the table.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk.
Barbershop Talk.
At James Place.
Barbershop Talk.
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 At James Place. Barbershop Talk.
Everything's on the table.